Welcome to Working Dragon Mystic, where we discuss real metaphysical and occult content so you can manifest real, tangible results in your life. This week, we're going to be continuing our series on the Goetia with the 60th spirit of the Goetia. It's actually kind of hard to believe we made it this far in this series. That being said, we are actually recording this live in our Working Dragon Mystic community. There are several people who are here joining me. They're going to be asking questions over in the chat box. And after the presentation and the recording, when we cut, we are going to be having a live chat about this topic in the community after. So if you'd like to take part in the live chats, you can join our community. There'll be links below. It's absolutely free to join. And you can take part in these. You get to see these weeks in advance of when they're released on YouTube or Rumble. And you can take part in the live chats afterwards as well. And ask some good questions of your own if you have them. All right. Now, with that, let's get into this, shall we? So, 60th spirit of the Goetia, VAPULA. VAPULA is usually how I pronounce it, VAPULA or VAPULA. VAPULA. General appearance in the Goetia. This one's pretty short and sweet. Appearing in form of a lion with griffin wings. There you go. Not a really complex description for this particular one, but hey, sometimes it's nice to have simple. And even though it is a simple one, this one is actually pretty, I don't think any of us are having any trouble figuring out what this one looks like when they say lion with griffin wings, right? All right, the most common associations of this particular spirit are rank is Duke, metal, most often associated with them is copper. The planet most often associated with them is Venus. Color most often associated with them is green. And the element most often associated with them is air. Okay. All right. Now, of course, we'll go ahead and get the sigil up here on the screen so you can see that if you're watching it on YouTube or Rumble. For those watching live in the community, the image was the thumbnail. And if anyone needs an image before we are done with our live chat, let me know and I can drop an image for you all there as well. So in the Goetia, when you're reading it as to why you might want to work with this particular entity, it says the original purpose anyway. His office is to make men knowing in all handcrafts and profession, also in philosophy and other sciences. Now, first off, even though this is very poetically written, as we have talked about in the past with many of the other spirits, this one's almost pretty straightforward. I do know a lot of people who have come to me with a lot of questions about what this means, but it is pretty straightforward and simple in my mind. But since we do have questions, we're going to go ahead and break this down into modern day applications anyway. Okay, so here we go. Point one, aid in making a practice or training session yield greater results, thus rapidly increase your skill in that area of study. Okay. This can be anything you're practicing, anything you're studying, school, whatever it may be. Maybe it's music. Maybe it's singing, maybe it's your carpentry skills, maybe it's your blacksmithing skills. I do actually know blacksmithing who has worked with this or a blacksmith who has worked with this entity. So anything that you can practice or train, this entity can help you to improve those skills more quickly, which is handy, right? It's always good to have a study buddy, if you will. The next one. And it can also do the same for arts and crafts of the hands. Okay, so this can improve. This can help you improve arts and crafts that deal directly with the hands. So think about sculpting. I would say woodworking and blacksmithing fall into that. Singing is not so much with the hands per se, because that's more vocal work. But due to that first one, it still covers it. This is one of those where a lot of people dip down and focus on, yes, the hands are definitely covered in this one a lot. And that's fine and dandy. Nothing wrong with that in any shape, form, or fashion. But the way the first one works, I don't know if the second one's needed, but there are many magicians who do think you get an extra layer of oomph if it's a skill or trait that deals with the work you do with your hands. Okay. And I would say I have seen something of that. Okay. Um, because I tried to work on public speaking skills with this entity. Did not get as good work as I did with hand skills. Did increase the results I was getting, did increase it. But I would have to say that, at least in my very, very small sample, it did seem like it didn't work as well. So I have to at least yield probability to the mages who say that. Probability. I don't have enough data to say I agree. Okay. Oh, and if you're like, I'm look awkward drinking my coffee or something, I apologize. I cut the shit out of my hand today, yesterday. So, moving on. Uh, the next one is help to improve the skills required for your profession through a period of study and training. Okay. Now, this is very specific because we are focusing on your profession, your job, what it is you do. Um, Interestingly enough, this one has been debated back and forth quite a bit. Um, and like, if you're going to talk to him about improving your profession, most mages seem to be in consensus. This needs to be the thing you're actually employed for. Like, you actually have to have the job, right? You actually have to be doing this. You can't be going to school to do this. Um, you can't be studying. Like, if you're going to be a doctor and you're in high school or you're getting ready to try and go to middle school, not so much. This actually needs to be something, you're not a student, you're actually employed. You have the job, right? Um, to get the maximum effect of this. Otherwise, you just want to use this to help with your studying in general. You want to go with that first one. But this is, again, one of those where if you have the job, you do get a bump up, a bonus, a nice little ramp up on there. So if you have a job and you're wanting to work on skill sets or things like that, and you actually have a way to train it, and work on it and develop it, then this entity is amazing at helping with that. Okay. And the final one, which is one of the things I often do work with this entity quite a bit on, actually, is great to debate and use as a sounding board for ideals on philosophy. So if you don't have anyone to use as a sounding board, anyone to talk to and kind of go back and forth, speak your ideals out loud to, perhaps get some feedback. I mean, it's like any form of philosophical debate. There's no right or wrong, but having that sounding board, oftentimes, when you hear yourself say it to another person, you start to hear the flaws in it in and of itself, and you also can be inspired to see directions it can go that you haven't before. This entity is great for having those discussions. And this is definitely one where I will sit and talk with them quite a bit on, and have in the past. These days, more often than not, I end up talking with my dragons. That's true. My co-magician and my guardian, they love to have these discussions nonstop. They will even trigger the discussions when I'm not having them. So it's one of those where it's fallen off in recent years, but in the past, that was my go-to. All right. And that is pretty much it, straightforward for this entity. Nice and easy. Again, if you'd like to join our community, there will be links below. Also, if you wish to support the work we do, you can join the community for free, or you can become a supporter, and supporters get monthly spell working. There's supporter only live chats, supporter workshops, full workshops where we go into detail, for they get access to all those free. They get access to all my online courses. It's a great value, in all honesty. But for me, like I said, I've used this one. I've worked with this entity a lot for the debating and discussion philosophies. But when it comes to actual applications, yes, when it comes to training skill sets, I have used it, and I find it works. Like, I really do. Like, if you're trying to hone a skill quickly and get better at a skill quickly for some reason, I do find that this spirit is a great entity to work with, and they can help you hone those skills and develop them quicker. Now, you do, again, have to put in the work. You actually have to go train those skills. You can't just ask them to train you and then hope you wake up skilled tomorrow. That's not going to happen. You actually have to do the training. They only increase the results of your training quite a bit, but they increase it. If you're not training to begin with, you're not going to see any increases, point blank. All right, hope that helps. And for some reason, I get a lot of people wanting to know about music artists and how to become a music artist, what entity. Technically, this entity can help you develop your skill sets as a music artist, as a recording artist, as a writer, any of that. Will they overnight make you rich? No. In fact, I don't really know any entity that's overnight going to make you rich. A lot of that's going to be based on your skill set, what you actually produce. Are you actually doing the work? All those things. Again, this entity can help you develop those skill sets if you do the work to do it. Okay? All right. Until next time, everybody, I am Drake. This has been Working Dragon Mystic. Take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.